just a really quick around what your hope is for this year or a goal?
Yeah, that's cool.
Let's not call on me
What
first, okay?
if we don't have a goal? What
Absolutely.
if we're just getting the by every day? Okay, you don't need to be so organized.
Spider web off your camera.
My goal is to just do better than the last one.
My goal too.
Hello and welcome to Table for Five with No Reservations. Take a seat at the table for a fresh, sweet, salty, tart, and pleasantly bitter conversation.
Hello, and thank you for taking a seat at the table. It is our first time at the table for 2023, which is kind of crazy.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
To
Hope
you.
everyone had a great New Year, and I'm sure it was as wild as ours was. So we're just going to talk about what our hopes are for this year, and then we're just going to give you an idea of what's coming next on the podcast and some exciting things we have coming up this year. At the table tonight, I have Kimberly McIsaac.
Hello.
Tabitha Cabrera.
Hello.
Jennifer Dunn.
Hi everyone, Happy New Year.
Rachel Flanagan.
Hey, everybody.
And me, Jamie Ramos. So I thought we would do a quick around the table about kind of what our hopes for 2023 are. I'll start with Tabitha.
Hopes and dreams for 2023. I think my goal for this year, this is hard. My goal for this year is to kind of settle in, get everyone settled in, made it through the holidays, celebrate the Montana summer once that gets here after the 14 years of winter that we're going to get through. And really, I have been focusing on recognizing my feelings, taking care of my mental health, asking people for help when I need it, and understanding that I can't control everything in my life, obvious from 2022 that we're erasing from all of history. But I'm really trying to just like embrace doing things that make me feel good and canceling the things that don't make me feel good. And that's it. That's the whole goal. Don't waste my time doing things that bring me pain or are hard. You can't control all of that. But as far as my own personal choices, that's kind of my goal for myself. For my kids, they're doing great. Their programs are good. Nixon's school is going good. I'm hoping he can make it through this kindergarten year and still have success and make it into first grade, do that whole transition, and just trying to focus on my kids and being present with them. So those are kind of my goals this year, if I had to go do a rundown.
Those are beautiful goals.
Yeah.
How about you, Kimmy?
My goals for 2023, I guess one thing that I'm going to be trying to work on is being more positive. I am very prone to be negative at times, and I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubt and just not let other people's negativity affect me so much. So I am very affected by the auras around me. So if somebody's negative and miserable, I kind of take that on, and I'm trying to take steps. And it's really hard to be positive, people.
It's hard.
It's really not easy. And for me, especially because I'm very suspicious in nature. And I think because of my anxiety and stuff like that, I always kind of jump to the worst case scenario, worst conclusions. And I'm really trying to work on that. So I'm going to continue that into 2023. I am just hoping, Alyssa continues to make progress and continues her growth, even though she's, 26 now. We're still working on things and we're still seeing lots of progress. So going to continue to work with her, try to be a little more consistent than I was in 2022. I have a goal to hold a baby tiger this year. It's going to happen, people, because I'm putting it out in the universe.
Yeah, so, manifest that business.
Yes. So we're going to, my goal is to go to South Carolina for vacation, Myrtle Beach. It's going to happen because I'm saying it. So you guys, all you listeners,
put it on your list.
Be accountable. Remember the trip to Florida that almost didn't happen, but I talked about it on here. So.
I'm just picturing us getting drunk in Minnesota, showing up with a mini tiger. I mean, it's going through my head.
I'm serious. I'm looking. I'm already Googling.
I kidnapped a baby tiger. So yeah, so that's a goal. I mean, that's just a personal goal. I saw it on Instagram. People, it's happening. I'm telling you. I put my mind to something. It happens. Trying to also, like with my kids getting older and stuff like that, and that's just been a little hard for me, but really just focus on like spending time with them and doing things with them. rather than thinking about it as, I'm very dramatic. Lexi still lives here. Not really losing anybody yet, but, try to foster a little bit their growth and independence and, and reap the benefits of that, like, doing things with them and spending time with them and be more purposeful. And, I just feel like sometimes you get in these, I get in these slumps and, it's just kind of a waste of time. So try to not let that happen. I mean, it's going to happen sometimes, but just try to be a little more aware of that, I guess. So, of course, I'll be back on some kind of diet, hopefully, because I'm going to have to lose weight for April. So Jen's
Well,
going to hold me accountable. So that's
Love that, Kimmy.
good
Yeah.
stuff. What about you, Jen?
I think like everyone, having Kaya continue to thrive and learn and do new things. Like Rachel said, last year she joined the Special Olympics. So I'm going to look into, they have swimming and they have horseback riding. They have all of these other things they do. So for her, I want to, keep her as busy as I can. And I'm turning 50 this year. So I've got this big thing, Fit by 50, although I really don't mean like I'm never going to be a go to the gym kind of girl, but I want to be healthy. Like I really want to be healthy. I, like you all, need to live forever. And my mother reminds me every day I'm going to drop dead because of the way that I, live my life. So yeah, I really want to try to get healthy and find some balance between work and my life and all of the things. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Same here,
just
Jen.
trying
too.
to find, and I know it's probably hard to imagine, and like Kimmy said, but I'm actually for a lot of things I've kind of learned to let go of what I can't control or change, and how I feel about things doesn't mean someone else is going to feel that way, and just letting go of all of that has actually really sort of, I use the word all the time, but fundamentally changed me. Like it's really, I'm turning 50. I'm starting to look at things a little bit differently. Like this doesn't matter anymore. And actually my boss always says to me, it's like that pushback thing. Like if you're not getting something from something and you're always having to push back on it, let it go. And I'm like,
I
oh,
love
I
that.
love that,
Yeah, that's
and
fantastic.
it's just starting to sort of set into me now. So a lot of things I've just let go, I can't,
Let it
that's
go.
gone. Let it go. So
Let it
yeah,
Let it
that's,
go.
that's me.
Set it
That's
free.
me. Yeah.
Set it free. I love
it
that,
free.
Jen.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about you, Rachie?
I've got some like for me goals of, stuff like I recently started listening to Audible and I want to be sure to listen to 2 or 3 books per month that aren't about autism, that aren't specifically like self-help vibe, but rather just people living their passion, being inspired by that. So I've got stuff kind of like that, like Jen's 50 and Tab's 40. It's like I don't feel like all this pressure about my age just turning 40, but I do feel like, man, that is a good time to start a brand new habit. And so I just want to like focus on my wellness. I feel like I want to be okay more than swinging so deep with our life. Like I feel like I want to sort of try and be a little bit more even, a little bit more stable, even if Seely's rocking around up or down. At this stage, we know that our family's gonna have highs and lows, and that I don't know. I'm trying to find the peace in knowing that even if she's down, there will be an up again. And so I want to kind of bring that focus into the new year. But I also just want, like you guys have all said, to really focus on what's quality and what I can do. This theme in our podcast for me has been reflecting, and there's like guilt that comes up, and I just don't want to have any more. Like I want to be mindful prior to having to heal about something. I just would rather be okay through it. So I'm gonna work on that.
Love it.
Yeah. Jean, what about you, girl? The baby at our table.
I'm turning 35 this year. I just kind of realized that in my head. That's weird. Because I was like, oh, everyone has milestones. I guess 35 is kind of. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like what a lot of people have said. Like a big theme for me this year that is going to go over into next year because I didn't quite accomplish them is managing my life and my anxiety more. And like Jen was saying, like letting things go. I've been trying to like, with my anxiety, make lists of things like when I'm having really hard time of what I can control and what I can't control. And also just like, I don't know, this sounds bad, like, but resigning to certain things in my life where it's just, this is how it's going to be. and just accepting where I'm at, and that where I'm at is fine and good in ways. I just need to stop trying to fulfill that in other ways, or look at other people's fulfillment and trying to somehow project that on myself. Like I need that, I guess. Basically, don't be like jealous of other people, and just find happiness in where I'm at and what I have with my lovely family. And I think that's a big thing for us, is kind of just settling into life. I feel like ever since really my son was born, but ever since he was about 18 months old, it's been like a go, figuring things out, moving from this to that, not knowing what I'm doing. And I still feel in a lot of ways I'm no autism expert. I'm no expert on parenting at all. But I do feel like I know my kids and I know my son a lot better, because I was unsure how well I knew him in the beginning, because I really didn't understand autism. And I questioned a lot of things because other people had me question things. So I just feel like we're at a place. My son's about to turn 8. We're coming up on 35. My goal was to have all my kids really by 30, but also by 35 was kind of like when I wanted to have all my kids by. So like accepting the fact, which has been a journey for me this year, accepting the fact that we're done having kids, but really just settling as a family unit and moving onward. And I mean, it's nice that my son is in first grade right now and he'll be going to second grade, but that we're at a school right now that we'll be at the next few years, which is like a big deal for us. Is any special needs parents know those toddler years, the going into school years, you're moved around a lot. So just being settled, I think, is going to be nice, and it will give me the space to work on myself some more. And like Rach was talking about, I have been working on reading more this year. I decided to specifically take charge of a book club this last year just so I would read more, and it's been great. But overall, like just exploring who I am now that I feel like I literally came out of like just running a marathon for the last 8 years. Like I just feel like, okay, but who am I? Like what's left now, kind of a thing. Where am I at and what can I grow and build on? And then of course for my family, both my kids, I hope that we're able to continue progressing. And they've been trying a lot of new things. My son played baseball and soccer this year. My daughter has tried gymnastics and soccer, and now she's doing taekwondo. So it's just us all exploring and seeing where we're at. And then like Kimmy said, I need to work on being positive, and I really want to work on supporting my husband more in that. He was promoted this year, which was great, but he's working a lot. And instead of like kind of making myself the victim of that, like supporting him more in that so that he is able to do that without all the pressures, hopefully. But yeah.
That's good. I love all of that.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's like when you were talking, Jamie, it makes me think of another thing I want to try to do is like try to do stuff for myself. But sometimes like I don't do stuff for myself because I don't want to, because I'm like tired and lazy. But it's like making myself like get out and do something for me, even when that's not what I want. I know that doesn't really make sense, but like
It'll
it's
make
kind of
sense
like
to every listener.
it's like pushing myself to do things for myself. I'm not even saying like daily or anything like that, like even like monthly, like just doing something for me. Sometimes it's like I don't do stuff, but then when I make myself do it, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I went here, or I'm so glad I called this person, or I'm glad that like I went out and did this. And I want to, I get so bogged down with work, with family, with kids, with all the social media stuff, which is great, but like it's still sometimes it's like I feel like I get a little lost in that kerfuffle, as Rachel likes to say.
Well, it's
So
work.
that's something I want to be mindful of
Yeah.
myself.
It's that idea, like the people say this about the gym. Like if I don't want to go to the gym, I just need to put my gym clothes on and sit in the car. And then
I've never said that. I just want you to know.
Never heard that.
I've actually never said that.
No, it's the idea that like
Whose
once you
magazines are you getting?
Once you get to the car, if you're already dressed and in your clothes, you're like,
then I'm gonna go to McDonald's. Perfect.
You're not helpful with this analogy. Okay, let me pair this
I
back.
do that though at home. Like I'll just put on my sneakers and then I'll start doing things.
Here,
You should have said the grocery store tabs remix.
Let me change this remix.
Yeah.
If you're on an adventure to the keto snack store, but you don't want to go and drive there because it's cold and snowy out, but you get into the car, you're more likely to make it to the keto snack store than
There
if
it
you
is.
didn't.
Well, you
So if
had me at snacks.
if
I'm
you want,
freaking gym.
I'm sorry. Well, whatever analogy you choose.
It's so true, Tabitha, though, because I feel like once I get in the car, I can kind of go anywhere.
Yes.
Whether it's 15 minutes away or an hour and 15 minutes, it's just the task of like getting ready and getting into the car.
The car.
The car.
The car.
Make it to the car. That
I
should be
think
your
that makes me think of like doing the podcast and how some nights it like we're tired and it's like, oh, we got to do this. And of course we love each other. But
Thank
it's
you,
like
guys.
once we get on and start doing it, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I did this. Because
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly.
like for
So
myself.
many times because it's like so much later for me. You know what I mean? And
We-
Neil's like, he'll be like, just don't do it. And I'm like, I can't call out of the podcast. I have to be like bleeding or
Tabitha,
something.
they must have heard you. I just got an email from the keto store saying, hurry on down for the Black Friday sale. I'm gonna put my
Told you.
shoes on and
Put
head
your
on
shoes
down.
on. Get in the car. Once you
I
get
just
in the
got an email
car.
from the gym. I'm just kidding, I didn't.
I didn't get that one.
Oh, people are listening. People
I did
are
not get
listening.
that one either.
If you've
Jen's
made
on
it
the
this
do
far,
not call
people.
list.
Yeah, don't call her. She's not nice on the gym membership.
So on that note, I hope us as ladies this next year that we have a great year together and that
Mhm.
our friendship
Yay.
grows.
And we'll
And-
be seeing each other soon.
Yes.
I was gonna
And-
say, I think we have a big opportunity coming up as a podcast. James, I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, so this year we have some exciting things happening. First off is our next series, which is going to be pretty cool. Hopefully, we're going to be looking back at episodes from the past and kind of like where we were at then and where we're at now. Because something I love about our podcast is that we're ever changing, and there's been things we've changed our minds about, or there's been things that we were in the moment of, and we were like, oh my gosh, this is awful. And looking back, it's maybe not that big of a deal, or maybe we thought something was small and it's turned into a huge thing. So it's going to be a really cool series, and I hope everyone tunes into that. That's going to be starting next week. And then later on this year, we have some opportunities coming out, but one for sure that we want everyone to know about, we talked about at the end of last episode, is we are going to be the official media partners of the Finding Cooper's Voice and the More Than Project's Care for the Caregiver Retreat. And that's happening April 29th and April 30th. We definitely are going to be a big part of the Saturday evening portion of the event. So if you are going, make sure you come hang out and see us. Like we talked about in the last episode, we all went last year and it was so amazing to be around each other, but also other women we've met online. And then some women who I hadn't met before, but they listened to the podcast. And it was so nice. Like, I feel like I immediately connected with everyone.
Yes.
Because tickets are coming on sale really soon, I want you to all know that you should listen back to our episode where we talked over this trip last year, because what happens right now as you're considering like, oh, should I make money in my budget or make room in my budget for this big trip, or I'll have to fly in all these different layers and financial commitments. What we ended up going away with was that the world continued to turn for our families. Nobody was on fire after we were gone and came back. Like everything was fine, which I think allowed all of us to sort of evaluate that in our control of what's going on. I mean, I live locally in Minnesota, and it was still one of the first times that I had anybody like take care of Celie as was needed for that trip. And it was, or for me to make time, and God, it was okay. Anyway, there's stuff that's going to go wrong, but people will figure out the meds. People will figure out the bedtime routine. People will figure out the hairbrushing. Like all the stuff you think will keep you home will be fine.
Well, hairbrushing will definitely keep me home, but we're gonna move past that with a little trim prior.
Coolio
It's fine.
braids, Coolio
Yeah.
braids.
It was just so fun. Like, it was a blast. And
Yeah.
it was great. So
Loved it.
that's what's coming
I
up from
can't
us.
wait for that Minnesota breakfast again.
Girl, 116 days from the airing of this episode to our breakfast together.
Now, I'm not going to
holidays.
be able to tell you what it's called, but my husband found a hot sauce in Minnesota that he loves, and now it's a staple in our home.
If
It
you
was-
are not from the Midwest, I'm just going to warn you. When they talk about the portion sizes, they are
It
not.
is. There's no joke when it comes to
500
Midwest portion sizes.
I'm telling you, we went out for dinner one night and I can eat, and you could literally not tell that I had eaten off my plate.
Do
There
you
was
guys
so
think
much
it's
food.
any sort of weird conundrum that I'm the Minnesotan and I also don't participate in the bullshit dieting that you guys all put up with. Because our our serving sizes are robust and I just fit right in.
So also you can save money by splitting your meals with
Yeah.
another.
Yes.
Yes.
Why shop at
Yeah.
the kids menu?
Just order a side. It's the
Jenny,
potato
we're-
portions. They got some fancy potatoes in Minnesota,
They
people.
do. It's
All the
good.
cobs.
Ah, the cabs.
All right. Well, happy 2023. We hope everyone had a great holiday season, and let's go into this fun month of January.
Happy
together.
New Year, everyone.
Happy
Happy
New Year.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
New
Year,
Year.
ladies.
Love you.
Love you guys.
Thank you for sitting at the table for this episode of the Table for Five No Reservations podcast. To learn more, please read the description of this episode. In there, you can also find where to sign up for our newsletter and how to become a supporter. Join us next week for more, and while you wait, check out our content on Facebook and Instagram. If you are enjoying the podcast, please make sure to subscribe and rate and review us wherever you listen. To contact us, you can email us at tablefor5podcast@gmail.com. We can't wait to sit with you again. Bye!